Stop everything you are doing, because something unexpected is happening again between Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe, and fans cannot stop talking about it. Just when everyone thought the excitement had faded and the rumors had finally disappeared, one simple moment brought everything back. A smile. A look. A tiny gesture that lasted only a few seconds. And suddenly the entire internet was asking the same question. Have these two fallen for each other all over again? Stay until the end, because this story is filled with unforgettable moments, sweet surprises, and one emotional confession that left everyone speechless. The morning began quietly. The filming location sat near the mountains, and soft clouds floated across the bright sky. The cast had arrived early. Crew members were setting up cameras. Assistants were carrying costumes. Everything looked ordinary. Then a black car slowly entered the parking area. Tian Xiwei stepped out. She looked relaxed. A warm smile rested on her face. She greeted the staff and walked toward the set. But before she reached the entrance, she suddenly stopped. Someone was standing in the distance. Zhang Linghe. He was wearing a simple white shirt and holding a cup of coffee. At that exact moment he looked up. Their eyes met. Neither of them said anything. Then something happened that nobody expected. Both of them smiled at exactly the same time. One of the makeup artists nearby nearly dropped her phone.
Did you see that?
Another staff member laughed. I definitely saw that. It was only a smile. Yet somehow it felt much more important. Tian Xiwei continued walking. Zhang Linghe waited. When she finally reached him, he held out the cup. She looked surprised. Is that for me? He nodded. You looked tired yesterday. I thought coffee might help. Her eyes widened. You remembered. Of course. She accepted the cup. Thank you. He smiled. You are welcome. The entire crew suddenly became very interested in adjusting equipment nearby. Nobody wanted to miss a single second. Throughout the morning, something even stranger happened. Every time one of them entered a room, the other seemed to notice immediately. Every time Tian Xiwei laughed, Zhang Linghe looked in her direction. Every time he spoke, she listened carefully. The chemistry between them felt effortless, natural, comfortable, as though they had known each other forever. During lunch, everyone gathered around one large table. There were many empty seats. Yet once again, Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe somehow ended up sitting beside each other. A crew member laughed. I am starting to think you two have assigned seats. Both of them laughed. Pure coincidence. Nobody believed that answer. After lunch, filming resumed. The next scene required the actors to wait for several hours while the lighting team prepared the set. Most people used the break to rest. Some checked their phones. Others sat quietly. Tian Xiwei walked toward a small garden behind the studio. She wanted a few peaceful moments. To her surprise, someone was already there. Zhang Linghe. He looked up and smiled. Trying to escape too. She laughed. Maybe. He pointed toward an empty chair. Sit with me.
She did.
For several minutes, neither of them spoke. The breeze moved softly through the trees. It felt strangely peaceful. Then Tian Xiwei smiled. This is nice. He looked at her. It is. She turned toward him. Do you ever think about how strange everything is? He looked curious. What do you mean? She laughed softly. We spend so much time together. We film scenes. We travel. We work every day. Yet there are moments like this when it feels like we barely know each other. He looked thoughtful. Then he smiled. I think I know you better than you realize. She looked surprised. Really? He nodded. You always drink tea when you are nervous. You forget where you put your phone at least twice every day. And whenever you are excited about something, your eyes become brighter. Tian Xiwei stared at him. How do you know all of that? He laughed. Because I pay attention. Those 3 words made her heart beat a little faster. Because I pay attention. For some reason, she could not stop smiling. Then something unexpected happened. A small butterfly landed on the table between them. They both looked at it. The butterfly remained completely still. Neither of them moved. Then Tian Xiwei laughed. I think even the butterfly likes this place. Zhang Linghe smiled. Or maybe it likes your company. She laughed again. The sound made him smile even more. And that was the moment several staff members accidentally discovered them. One assistant stood frozen. Another slowly raised her phone.
No.
Do not take a picture. Too late. The photograph captured both of them smiling at each other while the butterfly rested quietly between them. Within hours, the image somehow found its way online. Fans everywhere began reacting. One comment simply read, "I cannot explain it, but they look so happy together." Another said, "Their chemistry is impossible to ignore." Another wrote, "You can feel the warmth between them even through a photograph." By evening, the picture had spread everywhere. Neither Tian Xiwei nor Zhang Linghe realized what had happened. They continued filming. Then, during the final scene of the day, something magical happened. The director asked everyone to prepare. The scene required only eye contact. Nothing else. No dialogue. No dramatic movement. Just a look. The cameras rolled. Tian Xiwei slowly looked at Zhang Linghe. And once again, time seemed to stop. The way she looked at him was filled with trust. Warmth. Something unspoken. He looked back at her exactly the same way. Nobody on the set moved. Even the director forgot to breathe. Then someone quietly whispered, "This cannot be acting." Another person nodded. "I think they genuinely enjoy being around each other." When the scene ended, nobody spoke for several seconds. Finally, the director smiled. "I think we just captured something beautiful." Both actors laughed shyly. As the day came to an end, everyone began leaving. The sky turned orange. The sun slowly disappeared. Tian Xiwei stood outside waiting for her car. Then Zhang Linghe walked toward her. "Long day." She nodded. "Very long." He smiled. "But a good one." She looked at him.
Yes.
"A very good one." Then something surprising happened. He suddenly looked nervous. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." He smiled softly. "Why do you always look so happy when you see me?" The question caught her completely off guard. She laughed.
Do I?
He nodded. "Every single time." She looked away. For a few seconds she could not answer. Then she finally said something so softly he almost did not hear it. "Because seeing you makes my day better." The world seemed to become quiet. Zhang Linghe looked completely surprised. She smiled shyly. Then she looked at him. "Can I ask you something too?" He nodded. "Why do you always remember the small things about me?" He smiled. "Because some people become important without realizing it." Her heart nearly stopped. Neither of them spoke after that. But somehow they both smiled. Because maybe everyone else had been right all along. Sometimes love does not begin with grand confessions. Sometimes it begins with simple moments. A cup of coffee. A shared laugh. A butterfly resting quietly on a table. And one look that says everything words cannot.